Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Shoot 'em up crime drama. An episode of the Phillips H. Lord's production Gangbusters. This episode is entitled The Case of the Devil and the Syndicate, Al Capone versus Bugs Moran. This episode goes back to October 11th, 1947.
And now, in cooperation with police and federal law enforcement departments throughout the United States, the only national program that brings you authentic police case history. Gangbusters.
Tonight, new facts in the case of the notorious gang leader, Bugs Moran, who returned from retirement to kindle old flames, but who learned that not all horse players die broke.
Gangbusters has again asked the Honorable Matthias H. Heck, prosecuting attorney, Dayton, Ohio, to narrate by proxy tonight's case.
The inside facts in the case of the notorious Bugs Moran.
Mr. Heck, many of our listeners know how the Chicago gangster George Bugs Moran became one of the country's most powerful and feared racketeers until he was forced to flee Chicago just ahead of Al Capone's machine gun bullets.
Yes, Don, and it was many years later before he could summon the courage to return to Chicago. Although Capone's organization had long since been broken up and the notorious gang leader sentenced to Alcatraz. On one occasion, Moran left his Minnesota hunting lodge and sauntered up and down North Clark Street, where he was formerly such a power. One rainy night, he ventured into a cheap tavern and ordered a drink.
Straight bourbon, friend. Leave the bottle here. Yeah. You been here long?
Too long, friend.
Well, here's looking at you.
Yeah, much too long.
I remember when this joint was a speakeasy.
And my memory's not that good, friend.
I understand there's a game in the back room.
You understand too much, friend.
Let me tell you something, friend. I used to own this joint.
Yeah?
Yeah. And 40 more like it.
Give me back that bottle. You had enough.
Leave it later. The name is Moran. George Moran.
Bugs Moran?
Nobody ever calls me that.
Let go of that shirt, friend.
Bugs, I'll show you.
Let go or you'll know the reason. Now, go on, get out of here.
Wait a minute.
Get out, friend, before you're a has-been with a cracked skull instead of just a has-been.
Look here, smart guy.
Hit the road, you bum. Go on, get out.
Yeah, your whiskey's rot gut anyway.
So long, Bugs.
Taxi?
Take it easy, Winnie. It's just a shower.
Yeah? Well, I paid $30 for this hat. Oh, nice.
We'll stick in the doorway here until the cab comes along. Just relax.
Relax.
Taxi! Taxi!
Ah, the monkey.
Hey, any room in there?
Help yourself. The doorway don't belong to us.
Thanks. Taxi!
Yeah, they're all loaded.
Some rain, huh?
Yeah. Dutch.
What?
Give me a cigarette.
I'm all out, Winnie.
Hey, taxi! Taxi! Here's a cigarette.
Oh, much obliged.
Light?
Yeah. Thanks.
Taxi!
Wait a minute.
Huh?
Aren't you George Moran?
Oh, you know me, huh?
Well, don't you remember me? Winnie York. I was hat check girl at the Polka Dot Club.
Winnie, yeah. Oh, sure, I remember Winnie. Sure, yeah.
Well, I did put on a little weight since. Dutch.
What?
Taxi!
Dutch.
What?
Dutch, you know who this is? George Moran.
Well, what do you know? I used to work for you. Dutch Bauer.
Yeah, glad to see you again.
When I was just a kid, I don't think you ever even saw me. I used to peddle your booze out in Waukegan. Well, what do you know? George Moran. I heard you're retired. Country gentleman.
That's what they call me.
Well, that's for me. That country gentleman stuff.
Hey, Dutch, why don't we take George along to the party?
Well, I don't know. We were only invited ourselves.
No, don't bother about me.
Oh, they'll be glad to have him. What do you say, George?
He's probably got something else to do. What are you bothering the guy?
Well, I haven't got a thing to do.
Well, then come along with us. We'll have a great time. Hurry up, Dutch. Get a cab.
Taxi! Taxi!
There's one. Come on, George. Let's run for it.
Tell me, will you, Winnie, what does Bugs Moran mean today? Nothing. He might just as well have been dead for all the weight he carries.
But he's got no less brains than he had 20 years ago. Besides, Dutch, maybe he's still bigger than you think.
I don't know why I listen to you. What do I need him for? The whole thing's set. We're ready to pull the deal. In he walks. Sometimes, Winnie, you give me a pain.
Well, he's in. You asked him in.
Sure I asked him, and you wouldn't leave me alone until I did. Bugs Moran. If this was running hooch or rough stuff or something like that, then maybe he'd be okay. This is a slick deal. It takes a touch.
You and your touch.
Things have changed, Winnie. Bugs Moran don't mean
Take it easy on that bug stuff. He don't like it. And to me, George Moran still means plenty.
What difference does it make what he likes?
That's him.
Answer it, then. Bugs Moran, huh?
All right, I'm coming.
Hello, Winnie.
Come in, George.
It was a nice party last night. Thanks for taking me.
Oh, they were glad to have you. So was I.
Hello, Moran.
Glad to see you again, Dutch.
Sit down, Moran. Sit down.
Thanks.
Well, I'll fix some drinks.
Oh, that's a good idea, Winnie.
What'll you have, George?
Oh, whatever you got, all right.
You take bourbon, if I remember.
That's right.
Straight?
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd be interested in the deal, Moran. The word is you're plenty well healed. Always have been.
Money's like water, Dutch. It runs out. You gotta keep filling the tank.
Yeah. Look, Moran.
What?
This is a smooth operation. No rough stuff.
I don't believe in rough stuff unless it's needed. Hey, come on, give me a rundown there, give me.
Well, I got me a good couple of boys. One's good at circulating paper. One is an engraver.
Wait a minute.
What?
This deal isn't counterfeit.
Well, not money.
What then?
Something just as easy to shove and a lot easier to duplicate. American Express money orders.
Uh-huh.
They got a set of plates that's a dandy. I figure if we work it right, we can wholesale about $100,000 in the stuff. Not less than $100,000.
You got a sample?
Sure. There are lots of samples.
Mind if I take a look?
No. Help yourself, yeah. Perfect job. What do you think of it?
It stinks.
Are you kidding?
It's a rotten job. I can tell it's way off without even a legit paper to compare.
Look, Moran, we worked a long time on this
You
thing.
didn't work long enough. You'll never make it.
Now, wait a minute.
Get hold of that engraver. I want to talk to him.
The engraver's finished. We're through with him.
I said get hold of him.
If you don't like the stuff, pick up your hat and walk out the door. We'll get along without any bugs, Moran.
Bugs?
Hey, let go.
Now, let me tell you one thing, Dutch. You invited me in this deal, and now that I'm in, it's going to be run right. You understand?
Okay, take it easy.
Refreshments, boys.
Just in time, eh?
In time for what, George?
Dutch and I came to an understanding. We can all drink to luck.
Well, that's wonderful. It's great.
Yeah, great.
Help yourselves, boys.
Bring it on, Dutch. Then go get hold of that engraver.
Nah.
What's the other one's name?
Fisher. But look, Moran.
I want to talk to him, too, but the engraver first. Go ahead.
Don't start pushing me around, Moran. The days when you push guys around are over.
Yeah? And I'd like to see those days come back. And right now is as good a time as any to bring them back. Well?
I think I know where to locate the engraver. And Fisher. See if I can raise him.
You know, George, I don't like to give you advice, but...
But what?
Well, Dutch wasn't too sold on taking you in the first place. It was me that sold him.
Let me tell you something. For a lot of years now, I've been sitting back taking a lot of guff from guys who think they know it all. Every time they open their mouths, you can see all they got is mouth with no brains on the side.
Okay, but Dutch said he...
Who cares for Dutch?
I'll tell you who, George.
Who?
Nobody, George. Nobody at all.
So, Don, the deposed Chicago gangster Bugs Moran was on his way toward making a comeback in the underworld. But he was to learn that the authorities of the law had changed their methods of operating as much as he intended to change his.
October 11th, 1947, Gangbusters on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You know, it's true. Difficult times have a way of focusing us. We have to think about what matters most when it comes to our spending, our health care. No doubt. This is why so many people are joining Medi-Share right now. Medi-Share is a trusted way to save up to 50% on your monthly health care costs. More than 400,000 people have already made the switch. It's pretty obvious why, too, especially now during this challenging season with healthcare costs and out-of-pocket expenses going up. Medi-Share can save you a lot of money. The typical family saves $500 a month. And Medi-Share is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that's worked beautifully for 29 years. There are different options to choose from to fit your budget. I'll give you the number here in a second, and if you call, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Maybe now is the perfect time to make the switch and start saving. Here you go. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, more of Gangbusters, October 11th, 1947.
Now back to Gangbusters. You were telling us, Mr. Heck, how Bugs Moran, the deposed Chicago gangster, had been taken into a syndicate which intended to circulate bogus American Express money orders and had gradually assumed leadership of the conspiracy.
That's right, Don. And Moran sent Dutch Bauer to bring still another member of the gang, Fisher, to a meeting where they would discuss Moran's new plans for distributing the fake money orders. Dutch finally located the portly Fisher in a suburban horse room.
And 280. Time of the race, 1:23 flat. At New York in the third, they're off and running.
Hello, Fisher.
Oh, hiya, Dutch. Grab a chair.
Thanks.
What's on your mind, Dutch?
I need you for a meeting right away.
What kind of meeting?
New York
Well,
I got a bundle in on this one.
Counselor Link, Uncle John by 2, and Crack Dice is third.
Where's that beetle of mine? He's supposed to be a front runner.
Forget about the horses for a minute, will you? Bugs Moran is coming to the bunch.
Yeah, so what? Bugs Moran? Where did he spring from?
That's what I'd like to know.
He's
in and you...
Hold it, Dutch.
Counselor still in front by a length. Uncle John second by a half. And third is now just in time.
Just in time. Don't I even get a call out of this race? Local boy. How I ever got touted on local boy, I'll never know.
Will you listen to me, Fisher?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Bugs Moran.
I was telling you, he's practically taken over. He's in there running the show.
No kidding.
I give the guy a break. What kind of gratitude does he show? He's taking over.
Well, maybe it's a good thing, Dutch.
What do you mean it's a good thing? Don't you think I can run the show?
Maybe you can, but Bugs Moran knows his way around.
Now, listen here, Fisher.
The stretch at New York.
Come on, local boy, where are you?
Hitch is now second by 2. Just in time, and Crack Dice head and head for third.
Where's that local boy?
Moran's gonna change the distribution gimmick. He's what? Moran's gonna switch everything upside down.
He can't do that. It's worked out to a T.
You ought to remember when Bugs Moran takes over, he takes over.
Distribution is okay. It's okay as...
Third at New York.
Ah.
The winner was number 4, Local Boy.
Hey, local boy.
Second, and Crack Dice third.
Oh, how do you like that? The horse don't get a call and he win it. He don't get a call.
Be at my place tonight, 10 o'clock. Moran will go over the whole thing with you.
Yeah, I'll be there. How do you like that local boy, huh? You don't get a call and you win it.
I'll see you tonight. So long.
Yeah.
The results in the first at Keeneland are now official. The winner, Mr. King, paid $7.20, $3.80, and $3. Second horse.
Telephones, doorbells, always. Hello.
Fisher?
Yeah, this is Fisher.
Can you talk?
Oh, it's you, Lieutenant. Yeah, I can talk. There's nobody here.
Good. I just now got your message. What's up?
Plenty, Lieutenant. I think we're after much bigger game than we figured.
Huh?
Dutch Bauer came around this afternoon. There's going to be a meeting tonight.
What time?
10 o'clock, Dutch's place. But, Lieutenant, that's not the important thing. You know who came into the deal?
Who?
Bugs Moran.
Bugs Moran?
Yeah, Dutch told me this afternoon. Not only is Bugs in, he's starting to run the show.
Well, that puts a new light on things.
Now, Dutch tells me Moran is switching the whole gimmick around. He wants to make $1 million proposition out of it. That's what the meeting's about tonight.
Okay, Fisher. Well, watch your step. Moran's a slick operator. If he ever gets a line on you, you're as good as in the lake.
And that's the way it works. We get 50%, the passers 50%. $500,000, and that ain't a bet. Hey, Fisher. Are you taking this all in, or are you dreaming?
I heard every word, Moran.
He's thinking you should have had a couple of yards on that horse today instead of 50.
Hey, you think that would have been bad,
I don't like guys sitting around pipe dreaming while I'm laying out the gimmick.
I told you, Moran. I took in every word.
All right. Give me a rundown, then.
But skip the details. I've been batting them through my head 2 days.
Well, like you said, instead of $100,000 in money orders, we shove $500,000.
Yeah?
You said you got plenty of contacts, so we get together a syndicate.
Yeah?
Guys in every city, all over the country. Every money order gets cashed on the same day. 1 day, and then we quit.
Yeah, that's about it. Any questions, Dutch?
Only, when's the day?
Soon.
Well, how soon? Track opens in Miami the 23rd. I got plans.
Maybe your plans will have to wait. I'm not rushing things so you can watch those cockroaches run around a circle.
Okay, don't tear a muscle. I was only hoping.
This is going to be the sweetest deal ever. We take our time and we get everything lined up just so.
Well, how about a little refreshments? I'll call Winnie and Will.
Not just yet, Dutch.
No, what's the matter?
Something just came to my mind.
Yeah?
Yeah. Fisher, I've been trying to place you ever since you walked in that door.
I told you this is the first time I laid eyes on you, Moran.
He comes from East St. Louis. At least that's what he said.
I thought I saw you before. And now I know where.
Well, maybe. I'm no babysitter. I get around.
If it's what I'm thinking of, Fisher, you'll get around plenty. On your back.
What's the trouble, Moran?
If you got something on your mind, Moran, get it off.
Sure. I'll get it off. Answer me yes or no, Fisher. Back in 29, you tailed me for days.
Don't be nuts, Moran.
You never could get me where you wanted me. Isn't that right?
Now, look, Moran.
You were with Al Capone, weren't you? Answer me. You were one of Capone's boys. Well?
What if I was? I was only a punk kid doing a job. I didn't have nothing against you.
I knew I could smell you.
Now, take it easy, Moran.
Sure. He had a job. There wasn't anything personal.
Okay, I guess there wasn't. Anyway, I lived through it.
Didn't we all?
Let's have those drinks, Dutch.
It's the fourth race at New Orleans. A change of jockeys. Al Haynes is now riding Roadmaster instead of M. Kramer.
And that's the way it stands, Lieutenant.
It's not good, Fisher. Do you think you can talk Moran into a test a day or so before the big day?
A test?
Sure, to see how the stuff is accepted. Then we can make our pinch on that test without risking too wide a distribution.
I don't know. Maybe he'll go for it. I'll try.
Okay. But be careful how you handle it.
Don't worry, I will. Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
Dutch Bauer, and he's seen us.
I'll get out of here.
No, sit still. He'd only be more suspicious. He's coming over.
In the 6th at New York, number 4, your welcome, has been scratched.
Hello. Fisher? Mind if I sit down?
Help yourself, Dutch.
Thanks.
This is Lieutenant Thacker, Dutch Bauer.
We say.
Hi. Army, Navy, or Fire Department?
State's Attorney's Office.
Uh-huh.
Well, you weren't much help, Fisher, but thanks.
Don't mention it.
Nice to meet you.
What does a cop want with you?
He's looking for somebody?
You didn't know where the guy was. The one he was looking for.
Well, there's one way to handle cops. Let them think you're helping them, Dutch, but don't.
You're a lucky guy, Fisher.
Why?
You see, I knew he was law. If you'd have told me he was something else, That's all, brother.
I've got nothing to hide. What's up, Dutch?
Moran wants to see you.
Not another meet.
10 o'clock tonight. We're all set to go.
Meetings.
I'll see you there.
They're off. Been running in the fourth. That's New Orleans. That's 420. That's Keeneland in the third race.
If a guy's once got it, George, he's always got it.
Well, a little tough, baby. I never thought I'd make it back to the top. And this is going to be the send-off. There ought to be nearly 200 grand in it for me.
Yeah, I'd be disappointed if there wasn't. The way Dutch was running it was for buttons.
Dutch is a buttons kind of guy when he's no good for you.
Who is?
Who do you think?
Can I get you another drink?
Not now, Winnie. We've got...
Winnie, Oh.
Hello, Dutch. Fisher, how's it going?
Not a winner all day.
I didn't expect to find you here, Moran. I thought that meeting last night covered everything.
I didn't come here to see you.
No?
I came to see Winnie.
George,
Shut up.
Sounds like an explosion is heading that way. October 11th, 1947, Gangbusters here on Classic Radio Theater. We'll hear the conclusion of this Bugs Moran story following these important messages from your favorite station. Oh, and then Johnny Dollar. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Gangbusters and the case of the devil and the Syndicate, originally broadcast October 11th, 1947.
Have you got business with Winnie now?
Yeah, Dutch. Plenty of business. It's been unfinished a long time.
They got a name for a guy like you, Moran.
Yeah, I guess they have.
Look, maybe I'll take a walk.
No, stick around. You don't expect me to stand still while you take over everything, Moran, do you?
You'll stand as still as I say.
Boys, there's no sense getting worked up over this.
Who wants her anyway? Take her.
I intend to, Dutch.
I think I'll go out for a walk. Business before pleasure, boys. See you later.
Well, Dutch, you got anything else to say?
About what?
About nothing. Fisher, you might like to know I thought over that idea of yours about the test passing.
Yeah?
You haven't got a bad idea there, Fisher. Not bad at all.
Well, I figured we could make this test passing on a Saturday. We see how it goes. Now, if everything's okay, the big day will be Monday before any of the Saturday stuff has a chance to clear any banks.
What do you think, Dutch?
Anything's okay, Moran, so long as you say so.
Good. And I think we'll try it out in Pittsburgh. How's next Saturday?
Great. I'm glad to hear it. Then I can shove off for Miami.
All right, we leave for Pittsburgh Thursday. In the meantime, Dutch, you get in touch with the boys all over that are going to do the passing.
Okay.
You get in touch with them and tell them that right after we make the test, we send each of them a wire. Tell them when they get it, be ready to unload Monday.
So that's the way it was, Lieutenant. The big day is set for next Monday. The test will be this Saturday.
Good work, Fisher. But I wouldn't have given a nickel for your chances of getting the idea across.
Well, Moran went for it hook, line, and sinker. Look, Lieutenant, I'll have to stick pretty close to Moran. Everything will be taken care of for Pittsburgh, huh?
Don't worry, I'll be all set. I'll see you there.
Yeah, so long and good luck.
Good luck yourself. You need it more than I do.
And will that be all, sir?
Is that enough? How about you, pal? You want anything?
No, not here. Oh, no, let's see. 2 shirts at $7.50, 2 neckties, $23.80 with the tax.
Yeah, look, I got an express money order. It's all endorsed.
Huh? $100.
Yeah, take it out of there.
I'll have to get the section manager's okay, sir.
Well, go get it. Don't stand around.
Yes, sir. Be right back, sir.
You like that guy, Fisher?
I'm not worried about the guy. I just hope that paper gets by. It means a lot to me.
What do you think it means to me? It'll get by.
I hope Dutch is making out okay.
If we pass that paper here, it'll be okay anyplace. We send out the wires tonight.
Uh-oh, here comes the clerk.
Yeah.
I have your change for you, sir.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Could you show me some of those shirts?
Be with you in a second, sir, as soon as I finish with this customer.
Excuse me. Take your time.
2380, 24, 25, 30, 40, 50, 70, 90, 100.
Much obliged.
Your package will be ready in a minute, sir.
Okay.
Don't move, Moran.
Watch it.
Get him up.
Come on, let's get out of here, Fisher.
You're not going anyplace, Moran.
Fisher, you...
Watch him.
No, you don't.
Stand back. Everybody, stand back, please.
Well, Lieutenant, that takes care of Bugs Moran.
Certainly does, it's Fisher. Let's get him in. Stand back, folks. It's all over. There's nothing to see. It's all over. It's all over.
So, Don, the fabulous Bugs Moran was caught in the act of passing forged money orders. He was tried and sentenced to a term in prison.
But this wasn't the end of his criminal activities, Mr. Heck.
No, it certainly wasn't. Another climactic episode, which closed just a few months ago, was still to come.
And you'll return to Gangbusters next week to tell us about it?
I'll be here.
Well, thank you, Mr. Heck, for the inside facts you've given us tonight.
And from October 11th, 1947, Phillips H. Lord's Gangbusters here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Of course, we've talked about Phillips H. Lord's prolific radio work. Gangbusters, also Counter Spy, Mr. District Attorney, and a lot of shows before that we don't even have any copies of. So maybe we'll find some one of these days. Okay, Gangbusters, October 11th, 1947, here on Classic Radio Theater. Oh, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, comes up next. And now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, Part 4, the 5-part Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar story, The Primrose Matter. This episode originally broadcast October 11th, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
This is Jed Marsh, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah, I've been waiting for you to call.
The forest ranger come down to my cabin and said you was calling from one of the emergency phones. Figured it must be kind of important.
It is, Jed. I'm at the fire patrol phone a mile below Primrose Camp, the Summit Road. Can you meet me here?
This time of night, 4 mile across the ridge on foot?
Well, you're a woodsman, aren't you? That's what you told me this afternoon.
Well, I didn't figure...
I just met the Bardells. You're a longtime friend of theirs, aren't you?
Something wrong at Pop's place?
I think there's something badly wrong. He and his wife are scared half to death for some reason. I haven't seen the daughter, and Pop and his wife have each told me a different story about her.
That don't sound like them at all.
Well, they're obviously under some kind of pressure. That so-called nephew seems to be running the show.
I told you, Pop ain't got no nephew.
He has now, Jed.
You got any idea what's behind it, Mr. Dollar?
Yes. I think it's tied in with a $100,000 payroll robbery, that wrecked car we found this afternoon, 3 murders, and... You'd better meet me up here as soon as you can.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Special Investigator Johnny Dollar, location Primrose Camp, Arizona, to the Home Office, Mid-States Industrial Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. Assignment, The Primrose Matter. Expense account continued. Jed Marsh, an old-time prospector, was a good friend of the Bardells, operators of the lonely tourist camp on a dead-end road high up in the Santa Rita Mountains. And I counted on that friendship to sway him. It did. He finally agreed to come. I hung up the ranger patrol phone and sat down on a flat pine stump to wait for him. And I hoped it wouldn't be too long a wait. The night wind sang in the high branches overhead, and their shadows in the moonlight formed strange moving patterns of silver and black. It wasn't a good night for a jumpy imagination. I started to reach for a cigarette and matches.
Get your hands up!
He was behind me, and I couldn't see him. But I knew the voice. It was Pop Bardell's mysterious nephew.
Get him up, move!
You're up late.
So are you. Now, just keep him there now. We'll see if you got it. Uh-huh. I figured you'd be packing a rod.
Self-protection. I understand there are a lot of snakes around here.
Maybe you understand too much, Dollar.
I suppose you followed me from the camp.
You're a good supposer. Now, what's the game?
Well, I'm a bird watcher, and I specialize in observing the quaint habits of the night-flying titmouse.
I want jokes. I'll tell you I want jokes.
I guess I misunderstood you.
Get up.
Get up, you're not hurt.
I appreciate you telling me.
I asked you a question, Dollar.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the game. You heard that phone conversation, didn't you?
I heard it.
And you know
Who's
about
the guy you talked to?
A friend of mine. An old prospector named Jed Marsh.
I heard that. Why'd you get in touch with him?
Well, now, he specializes in night-blooming uranium, so I thought we might combine our hobbies. Ow!
Now, how much of this does it take to wise you up?
Well, I think that one just might have done it.
Why'd you want him to meet you here?
I thought he might be useful.
For what?
For pointing out the roosting places of the night flying. All right, take it easy. Slap me once more with that rod and I may get mad.
You're scaring me to death.
There are worse ways to go.
Dollar. Them smart cracks are going to get you nothing but stitches.
Stitches are what they're supposed to keep you
Just
on.
keep asking.
Relax. You know, I think I finally got you tagged.
Now, what do you mean, tagged?
You're not Pop Bardell's nephew, and you don't come from Tulsa. Am I right so far?
You're doing the talking.
I think you came originally from Chicago or New York. But recently, you've just come west from Kansas City.
You a cop, Dollar?
No.
And how come you...
I've been trying to place you ever since I saw you this afternoon. Thinking back over police bulletins I've seen, mugshots, descriptions. Yeah. You're Spade Keller, aren't you?
Go on, this is your story.
You used to work with the Karzati mob. Then you went out of circulation for 3 years as a guest of the state. And when you got out, you apparently hooked up with Jipper Nixon and his gang.
So you are a cop. Well, mister...
I'm somebody who found that stolen car you ran off the cliff and tried to hide under a rock slide.
If you found it, you must have been looking for it.
I was looking for $100,000, that Kansas City payroll. The one you boys killed a couple of bank guards to get your hands on, remember?
I'm just listening.
Then, of course, you killed a state trooper down there at the highway when you crashed a roadblock. That's 3 murders, Spade. And nobody left now to pay for them, but just you and the Jipper.
You know, they got to catch us first.
Oh, they will. Or kill you trying to.
And if the cops don't do no better than you did, the... Hey, Dollar. The cops know about that car?
Which car's that, Spade?
You know which car, the one we buried in the rock slide.
There's the ranger phone. Call him up and ask him. Maybe they'll be happy. Oh!
You just keep it up, Dollar. This gun will still be in good shape when your head's got holes in it.
I think maybe it's already happened.
Now, what about it? You told the police about that car?
You followed me, didn't you? You know, I only made one call.
Yeah, but you might have called them earlier.
Wouldn't that be kind of crazy? Then they'd get the $100,000.
You mean you... So that's the game, huh? You and this pal of yours were figuring to knock us over and hijack that payroll for yourselves.
I didn't say that.
I figured you for a phony the minute you drove into the station this afternoon. That's why I had Bardell give you a cabin when you came back, and that's why I took a wheel off your car tonight. So I could have you where I could keep my good eye on you. See what you were up to.
And now you think you know?
Sure. You got a hunch we'd be holed up in here somewhere after we broke through that roadblock on the Nogales Highway. So you come up to snoop around and try to get your hands on that $100,000.
Spade, you're a real smart boy.
You found the car and then you tagged me. So you figured Primrose Camp for the hideout.
How did the Bardells figure in it, Spade?
And you sneaked down here tonight and phoned your pal. Wanted him to come over to the camp and help you. Help you what, Dollar? You don't know where Jipper is. And you don't know where the money is. Now, what were you planning to do?
I thought we might ask you.
Yeah, I'll bet you did. Only it didn't work.
No, it didn't work.
Well, now there's nothing to do but just sit here and wait for your pal to show. And to make sure you wait. Try it!
So I waited quietly. Being somewhat unconscious, there wasn't much else I could do. I'd been trying to stall Spade until Jed Marsh arrived, hoping to tip Jed off in some way before he walked into the trap. But I'd been outfoxed, outmaneuvered, and finally just plain out. For how long, I don't know. But it was too long to do Jed any good. When I came to, he was already in the parlor, and the spider had pounced.
What do you mean, get my hands up?
You heard me, didn't you?
You're done right, I heard you, but You ain't Mr. Dollar. What's going on here? Who the devil are you, anyhow?
How'd you like a bullet right over your belt buckle?
Now, you look here.
Easy, Jed. Better do what he says.
Mr. Dollar, what happened to you?
The same thing that's going to happen to you if you don't get your hands up.
What are you worried about, Spade? He's not even packing a gun.
I suppose I make sure of that, huh?
You're gall darn lucky I ain't got no gun, you shifty-eyed little sidewinder.
Shut up.
If I had one, I'd fill you so gall dang full of holes they would... You shoot...
You hurt, Jed.
Not as bad as he'll be when I pay him back for that.
Get over there next to Dollar. Come on, snap it up.
I'm mighty glad there's a moon tonight. I want to get that face of yours real clear in my mind, so's I'll know it next time I see it.
I told you to shut up.
Better relax, Jed. Spade here's pretty jumpy. He's one of the last two left now, and he knows it's just a matter of time.
What I gotta do, Dollar? Smash that head of yours clear open?
I think you'd better go easy on that slugging stuff, Spade. About the next time you swing on one of us, the other one's gonna jump you.
I was wondering if you had the same idea I had, Mr. Dollar.
Either one of you makes a move, it'll be your last one.
You see, Jed? He's jumpy. He and the chipper are up at Dead End Road. They got no place to go from here, and Spade knows it.
Couple more days, they'll figure we got clear away from this part of the country. They won't be looking for us around here. That's when we'll leave. And we'll get away with it.
Provided Jed and I don't tell him where you are.
You won't. That's one thing I'm real sure of.
This here varmint wouldn't be aiming through us in, would he, Mr. Dollar?
I wouldn't be surprised if he had something like that in mind, Jed. Am I right, Spade?
What have I got to lose?
That's a very logical attitude. What he means, Jed, is the fact that the gang has already murdered 3 people. And since they can only hang Spade and the Jipper once, a couple of more killings won't matter very much.
Matters some to me, seeing as I'm to be one of them.
Oh, yeah, and to me, seeing as I'm the other. But that's Spade's problem, of course. Having 2 of us on his hands. Even with him having the gun, it's pretty touchy business. Right, Spade?
Get on your feet, Dollar.
Sure. We'll stay as far apart as he'll stand for, Jed, so he'll have to swing the gun wide.
Shut up, Dollar.
If he goes for me first, jump him fast.
Sure, I got you. Seen it happen once in Tonopah during the gold strike in 19...
Shut up, the both of you.
Now, Spade's got an even worse problem, Jed. He's so scared and jumpy, he may even miss his first shot. Then he'll have both of us on him.
Reckon I'd be jumpy, too, if I was standing there where he is.
What are you talking about?
Next to the edge of the cliff that way. Close to all them boulders.
What about them?
Just snakes, that's all.
Snakes?
Oh, you shouldn't have told him, Jed. I was hoping he'd blunder onto one.
Where's any snakes?
Might be anywhere around you there. Along before sunup, when it starts getting chilly, they crawl in around the rocks to get warm. You city fellas ought to have a nurse to keep... Hey, wait a minute. I wouldn't move around much if I was you. Not without a flashlight.
I haven't got a flashlight.
Well, I have, right here in my pocket. Now, if I...
Hold it! Keep your hands up. I've seen that trick pulled before. You throw the light in my eyes to give Dollar a chance to jump me.
My, you got a real suspicious nature, Spade.
Snakes. There's probably no snakes within 10 miles. What's that?
Look out, Spade.
Where?
The other way. It's right there by your foot. Move back. Let me get the flash.
I can't see what I'm...
Not that way, Spade. You're going to step on it.
No!
Back, jump back.
Which way?
Look out, the cliff.
You're going over the edge. He stepped back on that loose slab on the edge, Mr. Dollar.
Yeah. Well, it was sure his last step, Jed. That must be a 400-foot drop there.
I didn't aim for this to happen. I was just trying to upset him so's we could jump him.
How'd you make that noise, anyway?
With this set of old timber snake rattles stuck on a pine sliver. You just rub your thumb on it, and it starts them going. Use it sometimes to spook a tenderfoot.
Well, you sure spook one tonight.
Can't say I'm too sorry at that, Mr. Dollar. He wasn't aiming no good for us, and that's for dang sure.
3 down now. Only the Jipper himself is left.
Funny about life sometimes, Mr. Dollar. That Spade fellow went around striking out at people like a snake does. And he died the same darn way, all smashed on the rocks. Just like a snake dies.
Now, here's our star to tell you about the final episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, a lovely girl screams in terror as a cornered rat turns and fights back. Fights the way a rat fights. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood. Written by Les Crutchfield, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
Oh, there you have it, October 11th, 1956. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And if you want to collect some Classic Radio Theater episodes of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, my friend Ted at RadioMemories.com has virtually every episode, almost. There are some that are missing, but he's got a lot of them. RadioMemories.com. He supplies shows on cassette, CD, or on flash drive for your computer. RadioMemories.com. Thanks for tuning in. Thank this station. Support their advertisers. It's their kindness and courtesy that allow us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite station. Now, if you miss a day, you do not have to miss a single show. All of our shows are available at classicradio.stream. At classicradio.stream, you can stream our shows on demand. You can learn more about classic radio collecting. There's a list of sites that carry our programs via podcast. You can also contact me. You can find our social media links, and you can also buy me a copy. That buy me a copy link helps us acquire additional classic radio programs. Thank you for tuning in. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.